All right, so do you guys remember our key Bible verse? I think I heard Hannah saying Ephesians, right? You, Hannah, not Hannah. Ephesians 4, that is correct.
I'm so smart.
If you get the verse, you're the smartest. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so the Bible verse that this whole series is on, okay, is do not let any unwholesome word come out from your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. And so that's why 2 weeks ago we emphasized specifically what the needs are. Okay, not just the characteristics, we kind of went more deep in. And so why are they like this outside? It's because there's a need inside. That it may benefit those who listen. Okay? So again, we're going to come back to this Bible verse over and over again until until this series ends. So again, this is the characteristics of the colors. We'll let them come in. Come on in. Hi. Come in. Hello. Come on in. Okay, so once again, let's look at the four colors. We look at the divide between the top and the bottom. These two, they're more extroverted. This doesn't mean necessarily just their like talking and not talking, but this is just people who, these two people over here at the top, they tend to not think before they talk. Okay, they think by talking. Okay, and these two, right here, they're introverted. What we mean by introverted, meaning that they think about what they're thinking about, what they're going to say before they talk. Okay, so they think first, and then they communicate. Whereas here, they just communicate, and that's why sometimes they could be blunt, or they say things that they're like, "Whoops, I didn't really mean that." Okay, and then over here, these two people, they're people oriented, so people are very, very important to them. So they're more likely to be surrounded by people all the time. They enjoy people. And then on this side, these two over here, they're more task-oriented. Okay, that doesn't mean that people are not important, but for them, they're really focused on tasks. They want to get tasks done. Okay, all right. So that was kind of again the outside characteristics of these four colors. And then now, 2 weeks ago, we went over the needs. Why do they behave the way they do? Right? Because there's innate needs. Okay, so these were the needs. Let's start with the yellow. Do you guys remember the yellow? They're very fun. They like adventure. Okay, the innate needs are approval, acceptance, attention, and affection. Okay, these are the needs that they have. Over here is loyalty, sense of control, appreciation, and credit for work. This is the innate need for the red. And then for the green, harmony, feeling of worth, lack of stress, and respect. This is very important for the greens. And then for the blues, safety, sensitivity, support, space, and silence. Okay? So for example, like on the outside, blues, right? They're very calm. Okay, they like organization. They like perfection. Why? It's because of need for safety. They want to feel safe. That's their innate need. So when the words they say, the way they organize themselves, it's because of safety. Okay, for the greens, okay, on the outside they don't like conflicts. Okay, the way they talk, it's very soft. Okay, why? It's because they have a need for harmony. Okay, does that make sense? So you have to understand the need first. That's kind of like what's really deep down inside. And then once you understand that, then outside stuff you understand better. Okay? Over here, so again, the reason why they could be very bossy and very direct and very on task is because they want a sense of control. Okay? They feel good when they have a sense of control. And then the yellows, they're always joking around. They're always like fun and joking around. Why? Because they want attention. They want people to look at them and say, "Hey, I acknowledge that you're there." Okay? So if you understand the innate needs, the core needs that each individual colors have, then you're going to better understand why on the outside they look like this. Does that make sense? All right. So 2 weeks ago we went over that. And then we talked about how, again, we need these things from each other, right? The better we understand that with each other, the better. And that's why we're learning this. So that we could accomplish our Bible verse. That we say things that are not unwholesome, that are not hurting, but words that will, what?
Yeah.
Build up their, according to their needs. So again, this helps us because if we understand their needs, then we could build them up instead of tear people down. Okay, does that make sense so far? Everything else? Okay, so if we, last 2 weeks ago, we also talked about this question right here. How can God fulfill our innate need then? To understand that, again, our spouses, the people that love us the most, our parents, our kids, yes, they love us, and yet they're not 100% able to fulfill these needs. And so that's why I shared with you guys the Bible verses, to recognize that God is the ultimate one who can fulfill these needs for us. Okay? Because the healthier we are, the more that we get these needs met, we're going to say healthier things too. But today we're going to talk about what happens when these needs are not getting met. Okay? So that's where we're going to be at right today. Okay? Any questions, clarification so far? Okay. All right.
What's amazing that Paul was almost demonstrating that he was a psychologist before it even existed.
Yeah, kind of.
The way that he was already thinking about according to specific
People's needs.
personality needs
Yeah.
as he built churches and engaged with thousands of people.
Right. All right, let's start. Hannah?
Best case scenario, your loved ones consistently use exactly the words you're craving, so you get your innate needs filled, stay in your strengths, and are constantly the best versions of you. That's not reality though, is it?
Okay. Hannah?
Of course not. Our innate needs will never be filled by everyone in every conversation. Blues will sometimes have trouble trusting, green will face conflict, yellows will be left out, reds will be betrayed. So what happens then?
Yeah, so again, we could hear wonderful things, and yet there are circumstances where it's out of control, right? So our needs are basically not being met, even though we want it to. Okay, Hannah?
Each temperament has a symptom, a kind of subconscious reaction that occurs when our needs aren't filled. It shows up in our words, or in some cases, in our lack of words. And it's used to manipulate others into giving us what we're craving.
Oh, does that make sense? So, when we get these things not met, we sometimes use more words. So these two will probably use more words. And these two will use less words. And we manipulate our words now, okay, with the people around us to get our needs met. Does that make sense? So because I'm not getting these things, I can't just say, hey, I need you to say these things to me. Because sometimes we don't even know our own needs. Okay? And so instead of just saying, hey, can you say these things to me? And then when you know how like you say, oh, no, you're not supposed to say that. Say it this way. And they go, oh, they follow you. Oh, okay, I'm not supposed to say that. Okay, I'll say it this way. But then it's not really from their heart either, though. Does that make sense? So it doesn't work. So what we do is we manipulate, depending on the colors, our words, try to get our needs met. Okay, so that's where we're going. What is your name?
Anna?
Anna? Hi, Anna. If you could read this for us.
Oh no, please.
No? Okay. No, either? Okay, Kevin?
These responses are some of the most unwholesome talk the Apostle Paul warns us to avoid in Ephesians 4:29. They may not seem unwholesome at first glance. Blues may even argue that silence is saving them from using much more unwholesome language. Consider the motive though. When we use manipulating words, we are not thinking of the other person. We're selfishly prioritizing our own needs. The opposite of speaking according to their needs, like Paul suggests.
Okay. So again, we want to make sure, and this is again, the manipulating talk is going to be the unwholesome word. And we don't want to use these words, okay, because this can destroy other people. Okay, so we have to understand, what do we do, okay, when our needs are not being met? Okay, what kind of words do we use? Okay, so really quickly, and then I'm going to go more in detail. Yellows, when their needs are not being met, they use charm and flattery. Okay, charm and flattery. And that's how they get more attention. Okay, what was their needs again? They use charm and flattery instead of just being themselves. They use charm and flattery to get approval, acceptance, attention, affection. Okay? The reds, okay, they manipulate with tone and volume. Okay, their tone changes. It becomes a lot more serious, a lot more severe. Their volume gets much higher, right? Because they're very big and loud. Okay? So again, they do that because they're not getting loyalty, sense of control, appreciation, credit for work. And so they think, okay, maybe if I make myself bigger and louder and more direct, maybe they'll give me the loyalty that I need or the appreciation that I deserve. Okay? We get to the greens. The greens, procrastination and stubbornness. Okay? So again, they get kind of like, the greens are pretty slow in pace in general. So they basically like stop altogether. And they're like, you're not moving me anymore. Okay? Why? It's because, again, they want to feel harmony, feeling of worth, lack of stress, and respect. They feel like they're not getting that, so therefore they're like, okay, fine, I'm just going to stop altogether. I'm just going to be stubborn. Okay? Melancholies, okay, they manipulate with moods and silence, especially silence. They just stop talking altogether. Okay, they just go, I'm just going to call, what is that, stonewall? They call it stonewalling, right? Stonewall you altogether. Okay? Again, the reason why is because they don't feel safe. Okay? The need for sensitivity, support, space, silence, these things are not getting met. And so therefore, they go, okay, I'm just going to change my mood. They get very, very, and that's where the term melancholy comes from, right? They get very depressed. They get very silent. And that's their way of manipulating with their words. Okay? Really quick, before we're gonna go a lot more in depth with this, but really quick with people next to you guys, okay? If you have identified your color already, do you think it's true? You use these kind of manipulation to try to get your needs. Go for it. You're with me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely.
This one. Can you give some examples of how you do it?
How would I do it? If I ever express my feelings towards the person, like getting their attention, trying to find a way to work things out, and it's not working, then I'll give them a silent treatment. And so I'll be like, I'll be like real quiet.
Like if they pushed you too much, you're like, you just like,
Yeah, just task away. Boom, 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 do this. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I see what
And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, no, nothing. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm like, what are you up to? Oh, just busy. You know? What's in your mind? Oh, nothing. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. It's just like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I want to be left alone. I want my space. I just want to be left alone. Don't bother me. You didn't have any respect for me. Just back off. That's my one.
so you'll do stuff with your body physically,
Yeah.
but like speech,
No.
it's like no, don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you right now. Until, like, maybe the other one, let's say my brother, the charming, oh, come on. And he's like, let's go get some burgers.
Okay, so that's how he gets you, because he knows you like burgers. So if you like stonewall him and you get silent, he's like, oh, come on, little bro,
Like,
come on, burger, bro.
But like, if he wasn't my brother, I wouldn't talk to him. He's my brother, but like, we're opposites. But I guess it's maybe God's way of showing me is like, you gotta love others too. You know? So that's my trick. Where it's like, I'm quiet, I'm depressed, and I get moody. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it. I get it. I should do these things. Get them done. Get them done.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it definitely like, oh man, it makes total sense. Man, like this
There's like on point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be an idea to think about.
Hold on, I won't get some water.
Actually, since they shut down 97 on the Eagle, I actually did talk to some of my coworkers about like, hey, so what does it take to launch our own radio station?
You guys wanna
Where we can play like,
You don't have to do it right
like modern rock music and whatnot. Because that's what 97 Eagle the one was, because I know like people that listen to it. And so, I was like, if we brought something back, but our own, a more updated one, I was like, people would probably pull it off. And so they all looked at me like, that sounds like a really, really good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The genius pick up the
Who
music.
who are the yellows again in here? Yellows. Okay, yellow. Hannah. Yeah, yellow. Any of you guys, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to. But any of you guys feel comfortable sharing how you manipulate with charm and flatter?
Oh my gosh.
Luis.
You know, it's like tied with my other one, but
Okay.
I was just telling Genesis that we tend to be very good at figuring out what the other person wants to hear, even if it's not necessarily what we feel.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Can anyone else relate? Anyone else that's yellow relate to that?
Yeah. So it's not, you don't really feel that way, but
we know that they want to hear that,
Yeah.
so we want to win them over
yeah.
by telling them that.
Right. And then with doing that, with flattery and charm, then what do you get? You feel like you get approval, acceptance, attention, affection from them. So do you guys see how we use our words? Because we're not getting our needs met from people or with God. And because of that, we use flattery, or yellows use flattery and these kind of things to try to get these met instead. Okay? Very good. Reds in here? Any reds? Okay, do you guys want to give an example of what you do? Tone?
Tone and volume.
Oh,
I do raise my voice when I need things done. Not for myself, it's that.
and then what do you think is like, what's your purpose though? Is it because you feel like I'll get their attention if I raise
Get the
my?
point across or take control of the situation.
Yeah.
Influence.
Yeah. So it's like using almost like that power, like, I'm the big dog here, right? Yeah, I'm the big dog. Okay. Yeah. So it's easy to just use that, and then he actually Kevin used it. It's this idea of what? Feeling a sense of control. Right? So they feel like if I get myself bigger, if I use my voice to show how big I am, that I'm in control, then people will maybe follow along.
There's a lot of different ways that you can use your tone.
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah. So what are some other ways?
Like, I can get pretty loud out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And I can like get the attention of the whole room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing. But also I can talk to you very softly and nicely and, you know, like a different tone of voice to get like a different kind of attention. But also to get people to also, I guess, do what I want them to do.
Yeah. And so you manipulate your tone depending on the situation. Yeah. Very nice. Who are the greens in here? The greens? Okay. Any of you guys want to give an example of how you manipulate with procrastination and stubbornness?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So our global head, we had to do all of our performance rating reviews for like all of our teams, like 90
That's right.
people.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
She's now come back and said, we don't have enough growths, which is like impactful to someone's career. And so we need a better distribution. So my strategy the last 2 weeks is like, I'm just not going to respond to her.
Oh.
So I'm procrastinating.
Yeah.
So I can create harmony because I don't want to give anyone the G rating.
Oh.
So this thing, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, just won't respond.
Yeah, it's better to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because if you go on with it, then that's gonna disturb your harmony,
Yeah,
and then there's more stress because of that. Yeah,
better to just hide.
yeah, better to just I'll just put it out. Yeah. Hannah, do you have anything you want to share?
I actually really do agree with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's easier to just okay, I'll just
stay quiet, be like okay, and then just
not do it though.
Yeah, not do it.
Yeah. But just say on the outside you're like okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you, or okay, I'll do it, but then you don't. Okay, who are the blues? Blues? Okay. And blue? Okay. You guys want to give some examples of how you use mood and silence to... No, you give a good example. Why don't you go first, Abel?
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so when my needs are not met, I typically just keep it to myself. So I give them the silence treatment. I won't talk to them. I'll just very task oriented and I'll do my things. I'm like, don't talk to me, just bug off, you know, just I gotta do this, I'm like, oh, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. It's like, and that's the type of personality that I'm like, just don't talk to me right now until I don't know, I could piece myself together and figure something out, and you know. But
Yeah.
just-
So again, it's because, right, they don't feel safe,
yeah.
right? They don't feel supported.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they go, okay, I'm not ready to communicate with you. Right? Once I'm ready, then I will, right? And then Abel actually gave a good example of his older brother. His, like, let's say they had an argument or something, and then his older brother is yellow.
Yeah, he's a, so he knows my weaknesses. So I'm a foodie. Okay, y'all don't know that, but I'm a foodie. I was like, oh, bro, let's go get some food. No. We go like that place that you like. Oh, okay. So like, I'm talking to him. Like,
Yeah. So he uses charm and flattery to get the blue out,
If
right?
he wasn't my brother, I wouldn't talk to him. Like honestly, it's just not my type of person. But he's my brother, so I was like, oh, you know.
Oh.
It's like he like, oh come on. Oh come here, he gives me a hug, kiss me. I don't like that affection. I was like, come on, hold my hand. Get out of here.
But you see all of that, right? Approval,
Yeah.
acceptance, attention, affection.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Right.
Oh, man.
But the yellows, for them,
Yeah.
because you're silent, they're like, oh no, I'm not approved by him. I'm not accepted by him. I'm not getting attention from him.
Mm.
So I have to use flattery to get that from you. Even if the force kiss you, right? So that's what happens. Dan, did you have an example as well?
I mean, I would agree. I think blues have a particular ability to be very empathetic towards other people, and I think sometimes we expect the same thing from others. So it's very easy, at least for me, maybe for you too. It's very easy for me to know when someone else is being silent for a reason, and so we expect the same out of others, towards us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so over here, right? You also have the blues have a need for space and silence.
Yeah.
And so sometimes if it's overwhelming and people are too much, it's like, whoa, give me some space.
And one more thing I was gonna ask, I would say like common sense, you know, you would expect people would know this, you know, but assumptions, yeah. So, but it's not for us to assume, but I do get upset. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's common. Why wouldn't you do that?
And the reason why everybody doesn't know that is because all of us are different colors.
Yeah.
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 We all have different things. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you for your guys' example. Let's keep going. Tracy.
Putting it into words, we slip into manipulating so naturally, we may not even notice we're doing it. So let's review what it may sound or look like for each temperament of our everyday lives.
Yeah. So you guys already gave very good example. These are some more. Okay. Our yellow Louise.
Charm, elaborating or exaggerating, being over the top. You won't believe it. Listen to this.
Okay. So that's the charm part. Okay. They elaborate. They exaggerate.
Sounds like clickbait. I don't like it.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. As long as you can get, as long as you get acceptance, attention, that's what it is. Okay, Luis, one more.
Yellow's flattery. Phony or excessive praise of others.
Okay, and Daniel gave an example of that, right? You might not necessarily agree with them, but you'll say what they want to hear. Okay, that's flattery. Okay.
I'm a little conscientiously aware of that because I remember doing that, but now I'm like, I want it, when I say it, I want it to be something genuine or I'm not going to say anything.
Right. Yeah. But you have to also understand when you start doing these things, it's because, again, inside your need meters are going off. So instead of just stop doing it, you have to get your needs met. Okay? So again, that's where, your relationship with God is going to be very important. to realize that you are approved by God, you are accepted by God. Okay? If you seek his attention, he will come and speak to you. That's why prayer, speaking to God. And then affection, knowing that God loves you as well. So you see, instead of, this is when, again, you realize, oh, I'm using my words to get it from, suck it from other people, to use other people to get my needs. So instead to realize, oh, I can get these things from God. Okay.
What if you really mean it?
Huh?
What if you really mean it?
Mean what? The flattery. Oh, then it wouldn't be
that's
flattery
why I was
then.
like,
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with I'm conscientiously aware of it. Like,
Yeah.
or like I'm gonna say something flattering to somebody. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm in agreement before I say it, because if I say it and I don't agree with it, and later on they come back like, oh, but I thought you were cool with it, then you get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, then it would be just like regular praise then.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you should. If you enjoy praising people, and those are, because yellows, their strength are they see good in people, they're very positive and optimistic. That's fine. But then this is excessive. Yeah. When you're not really doing it because of that, you're doing it more because you want your needs met. Yeah, it's fake. But you're doing it just because, kind of like what Daniel said, you know that it'll make them happy, and you know that they'll like you more if you say this thing. Yeah. Very good. Okay, our red, Kevin, if you could read this for us.
Tone, harsh or biting comments. I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, okay. It's like, stop. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry. I'll just do it. Okay. So that's kind of the remarks that Reds make. Okay. And then volume.
Volume, angry outbursts, yelling.
Okay. So again, these are some of the ways that Reds they use this. Okay, let's go to the blues. Who's a blue? Who's a blue?
Daniel.
Okay, Daniel's blue. Daniel.
Being judgmental, critical, or self-deprecating. That'll never work. I knew I would mess up.
Yeah. So they get really harsh on themselves. Okay, so they'll say a lot of self-deprecating things about themselves. They go, I messed up before. Okay, no one's gonna like me if I keep doing it. Okay. Or when they make comment, they're like, oh, other people will do better. I'm not that good at it. Okay? So things like that, because they feel like they failed before, they're like, oh, I can't do it anymore. Okay? Okay, one more.
Silence, being disengaged, unwilling to talk or hear from others.
Yeah, and then Abel gave a great example of that. All right, green. Hannah, you want to read the green for us?
Procrastination, delaying or ignoring responsibilities. Okay, I'll do it later. We'll just do it your way.
Yeah. Okay, let's just do it your way. Okay, so you just kind of, okay, fine, you do it your way. I'll do it later. And then you guys also gave good examples of that. One more?
Stubbornness, refusing to converse or compromise.
Yeah. Okay. So again, these are the different things that happen, and you guys gave examples of this. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Lee, if you could read this for us.
The way each temperament manipulates is an extreme version of the language of their temperament. For example, greens speak the language of calm. When their needs aren't fulfilled, they push calm to the extreme by stubbornly refusing to take any action at all.
Okay, so that's one easy way to understand when you are manipulating. Okay, so again, in general, right, calm and harmony, that's a good thing. But then it gets too extreme. So instead of being calm and harmonious, they just stop altogether. They get stubborn. It takes them to the max. So instead of like walking slowly and like gracefully, they just stop altogether. Okay, that's an extreme version. And then we'll see the extreme version. All right, they're fun and nice and people, but then it turns into flattery. Okay, so we'll continue to go on. So that's one easy way to remember these manipulation. Take it to the extreme. Okay, so that was an extreme. Let's keep going. For the blue, blue speaks the language of perfection. However, when they don't get what they need, they respond with extreme version, perfect silence. Okay, yellow.
Okay. Speak the language of fun, which becomes reckless, exaggerated fun when their needs aren't filled.
Okay. And then red, Hannah, if you could read this one for us.
Reds speak the language of power, which they dial up using extreme volume.
Volume. Very good.
Whoa.
Yeah, sometimes violence too. Okay, Hannah?
The manipulating words of each temperament are unfortunately unhealthy displays of their temperament's weakness.
Okay, so again, this shows you, okay, that your needs are not being met. It shows you the health of yourself. So this is a really good way to gauge, okay, the types of words you're using. It's going to show you, okay, I'm not getting my needs met. Okay, I need to make sure that my needs are getting met. Okay, so really quickly, just kind of everything that we talked about. Just what do you think so far? Have you seen something maybe even this week? Okay, so go back with your partners, the people next to you guys, and then kind of discuss what you think so far. Go for it.
I don't think I've done
Nothing
We're pretty mellowed out.
this week regarding this. I guess I was trying to get some tables, and then somebody like took my table,
Destroying the trail.
and then, but right before that, I had a table, but they wanted to sit somewhere else. So then my supervisor was like, no, if you're gonna sit them in that section, they gotta be served by the person in that section. Because otherwise you're gonna be running around back, and you're gonna create chaos. So I'm like, alright. So I let that one go. But the other one, I'm like, oh, they wanted to be served by this service. I'm like, that's so unfair, because it's like, it was my section, and it only had like maybe like 5 tables all day, and it was so slow. And so
Is there anything you can do on that?
Not really.
Especially when the customer wants it, right?
Yeah, because I want her to serve. So now I've been like building up some customers. They're like, oh, I like it. Next time, I'll even if it's packed or if it's not packed, I'll wait for you. But it doesn't matter to me because I mean, we typically tip the same amount. You know? Like my goal is to get the higher bill so I can get more money.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, so sometimes like to sell them stuff, you know, they already have predetermined their mindset, what
Right.
they want. It's a deal. But if I could persuade them to get something else, and then I'm like, okay.
Get a little drink with that?
Yeah, a little drink with that. Some lady wanted to get some, I was this close. She wanted to get the fish and chips. And to the fish and chips, I'm like, you're among friends. You're indulging yourself. You're gonna be having like the chicken nuggets? Come on. They're good, but I'm not, you know, you want to have some chicken nuggets? And then everybody's like, oh, you know, come on, get yourself something nice. You know, you're having a glass of wine or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
And eventually, like her friend, like everybody got a better plate, but then her other friend ended up getting like a shrimp platter, something fried. And she's like, she just gave in. I'm like, oh man.
At the same time.
Yeah, 'cause you don't want to push it too much, though.
Oh yeah, I don't want. Yeah. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable either. But I was just like jokingly, like you don't want to have the chicken, like chicken nuggets. I'm like, come on, you're gonna go out and eat. Enjoy yourself. For me to serve you, whatever you want. Drinks, water, food, dessert. I'm here for you.
You're a pro.
Oh yeah, you've been doing it so long, you know. And food is my thing, you know. Like you're there to indulge. Don't eat everything. No, say some for dessert. Let's get that package up and get to dessert.
Yeah, I know.
Then become like great, like beyond.
Yeah, exactly. Waking up. Yeah. Very true. Yeah, exactly.
They never get out the cooking point.
All right, let's come back.
I did that probably.
Let's come back together. Okay, Hannah, or yellow Hannah.
It's not particularly pleasant to admit to this part of your temperament. because of the way you reacted to someone, and you probably had no idea what was behind your angry outburst or foul mood.
Genesis?
Let's change that. You can prevent doing catastrophic damage if you use your manipulating words as a warning. Think of the dashboard light that lets you know your car is almost out of gas. Just like that light, your manipulating words warn you that your needs haven't been filled lately. You're running on empty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize that you're reacting with your temperament's manipulating words? Stop and ask, what part do I play in this? What unfilled need is causing this reaction? Look at it, said, or done differently. Instead of recklessly trying to fill your need out of your weaknesses, you can step into it.
Okay, so we're gonna do some activities together. So if you pass this down, and then also grab a pen as well. Okay, we're gonna work on the first part first, the first side, the front part. Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory. We're doing this part right here, the homework activity on top. Okay, so I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to try to do this. Go for it.